I think one of the biggest things that we get so engulfed in, right, is like we talked about in the video. This is the trusted brand. This is the trusted thing. This is what we've done for 30 years, 50, 100 years, whatever that is, doesn't necessarily make it right. All right, we have these things and checks and balances and stuff in place, but even then, there's always ways that these bigger companies try to cut off a couple cents off of each bottle just to make a little bit of extra money. And when they do that, it starts to really kind of water down or change what we are doing, what we're utilizing in our product. So having something that's natural, having somebody who's physically making it and doing those things for you and putting it out there as a product and testing it on her own family, so you know that she believes in it, right? And I think that's the really cool part, is that these hands are the hands that are making it, not some factory and getting pumped through a whole thing of that end of it, right? I think that's a really neat opportunity for you to have right here in Manhattan, and give you that opportunity to really kind of try out these different things. What's going on, everybody? Kyle Powers here, Haven Real Estate Group at eXp Realty, here with another episode of Local Legends of the Flint Hills. I've got a very special guest here with me. I've got Paige Parker with Thistle and Thorn. Paige, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course, of course. So we were talking a little bit off camera here, and I'm excited to hear your story on this one, because it's so much of what we have in this world today, where it's, you know, the carcinogens and all the things that just get pumped into our manufacturing of our foods and cleaning products and things like that. So let's back up a little bit and say, how did you get started with Thistle and Thorn, and what inspired you to start this business?
So I was actually inspired to start this last summer, being outside all summer with my 3 kids and myself. I'm fairly complected, and so it doesn't take a whole lot for me to burn, and I noticed that we were using a lot of sunscreen and a lot of bug repellent, and then coming in and washing all of it off, and our skin was so dry. And it kind of dawned on me that I didn't actually know what I was putting on myself and my kids. So I did a little bit of digging, and I discovered that I could make pretty much a 3-in-1 that was a hydrating, bug repelling sunscreen. Yeah. And so I kind of tinkered with it over the summer and ended up coming up with something that actually allowed me to get a tan, which is a godsend in and of itself. And it kind of grew from there. I gave it to my mother-in-law, I gave it to my mom and dad, I gave it to my brother-in-law, who's even fairer complected than I am. He's a redhead, and it shows. And none of us ended up burning. We weren't getting bit by bugs, and we didn't have to really put on lotion afterwards, because the base of the sunscreen is actually tallow. So It contains a lot of the same lipids in our skin, and it absorbs really easily into our skin. Okay, very nice. So you really started the whole thing then just as a necessity and or a want for a safer product for your family. Yes, yeah. So. It kind of came down to why do I have to have a linguistics degree to pronounce half of the things that are in these chemicals that we spray on our bodies?
That's fair. And most of us don't know what you're putting on there either. So, okay, so then what was that moment when you're like, okay, I want to do this for other people?
It kind of started with a lot of my friends have their own kids, and some of them have allergies. My sister has eczema really bad, so it takes anything with any type of alcohol or perfumes to really irritate their skins. Mm-hmm. So I started giving it to them as well, and they were like, hey, this works out really great. You should try and sell this. You should try, and people will buy this. So I was like, well, maybe not, we'll see. And by the time I had a couple of other things made up, I made a lip balm and I made a healing salve. Okay. People actually started buying them, and it kind of has grown a little bit from there. Not a lot, but a little bit. We're on an uphill climb, so.
Hey, well, and listen, if you're getting the traction behind that, and people are starting to like it and like it better than the big dogs out there, then that's where you started at, right?
And that's kind of the competition right now, is all the trusted brands, the ones we all go to. Yeah, trusted.
Right.
Loose term. But I'm trying to do something that brings people back to the natural world around us, back to natural healing in a sense.
Sure. No, I love that. I love that because, again, like you said before, I mean, you have to have a linguistics degree just to read half the things that are on there. And you've got all of these things that we don't know. We've just been told that it's been safe our whole lives.
Yes.
So, no, I love that you're doing that. I love that you were able to say, this is not okay. I want to make a change, and you changed. I'm curious, right? We just talked a little bit off camera, and so you have a wide array of things that you offer up,
yes.
right? Walk us through what some of your, and I don't necessarily need you to give us all of them, but give us some of your big ones, right? Like you talked about your sunscreen, your lip
yes.
balm, those types of things.
Yep.
What do you offer?
So I have a handful of probably 25 or more products available right now, including the sunscreen that I make. Mm-hmm. Then there's a lip balm. I have some baby products that are for diaper rash and for milk rash that babies get around their neck, and
sure.
also for nursing moms as well, because we can't leave them out.
Sure.
They are pivotal in all of that. And then I have a solid lotion bar, and I'm actually working on new things every week, every day. My husband's going nuts with how many things I have. My kitchen might as well be a chemistry lab. It's nuts. I have quite a few things up in the air right now.
I love that. I love that. So that actually is a great segue into my next question here. So what does that process look like, right? So your big thing is natural products, natural ingredients, natural everything. So what does that process look like for you in getting those things and creating the items that you have?
So there's actually quite a bit of time that goes into that. A big base for my products is tallow, which is the fat rendered from beef products. Mm-hmm. It is naturally hydrating and moisturizing for human skin. But I also use sunflower oil because we are the sunflower state, and I actually buy that from a local or not local to us, but a Kansas farm
sure.
over by Colorado. But I spend probably about a week during the summer going out into fields and foraging for the plants and the herbs that I need to help create the oil infusions that are medicinally backed by science, mm-hmm.
to
help promote healing and healthy skin barriers and all those sorts of things. So it actually takes quite a bit of time.
Yeah. So actually that was my next question, is what does that timeline look like from like, okay, I'm going to make this lip balm or sunscreen. I'm going to make this. So you decide on Monday, and does it take a month, a week? 2 months?
So
what does that look like?
I go out and I try to forage for as many things as I can get all at once, so that way I'm not having to go out and look for one specific thing. I go
sure.
out and I grab, this is wild sage, this is elderberry and so on. And I have to bring that all back, get it all cleaned up, which can take anywhere depending on how much I come home with, because sometimes I'm like, help me carry this. And my husband just shakes his head at me.
Yeah.
So then I have to make sure it's all clean, make sure it's bug-free, dirt-free, all those sorts of things. And then I have to put them through the dehydrator or hang them out to dry, and that can take anywhere from a week to 2.
Okay.
Because if they're air drying naturally, it just has to sit.
Yeah.
And then rendering the tallow can take up to a day because it's a multi-step process to get it clean and to get all the impurities out of it. So it can take a few days just to make something as simple as a lip balm.
Yeah.
And there was been a few times where I've had to toss things out because I noticed something that wasn't right. The tallow had started a mold spore on it, which then it's unusable because it's not safe.
Right.
So I have to toss it out and start all over.
Yeah. Do you get the tallow? Where do you get the tallow? Like,
local.
Everything's
farmers.
That's awesome.
I love the farmers market. Hopefully, I'm there this summer.
Yeah, selling.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, not
Fantastic.
purchasing, selling.
Well, probably a little both.
Probably. Let's be fair.
Yep, that's awesome. So then realistically, from start to finish, anywhere from a week to 2 weeks.
Yep.
Is that kind of the deal?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So everything is purchased or grown or foraged locally then?
Yes. There are some ingredients that are a bit harder to come by, like for the sunscreen, the repellent in that, the protectant in that, is actually a mineral called non-nano zinc oxide, and it's a naturally occurring mineral, but we don't have it here. So all of the things that I can't source locally, I source from somewhere within the U.S. So I'm not buying from overseas. It's been sitting in a warehouse. I don't actually know what's in it. It's from the U.S. It has American flag stamped on it, and it's kind of a point of pride with me that I'm like, I'm paying extra, but I know what it is.
Right. And you can pronounce it.
And I can pronounce it, yeah.
That's perfect. So, I love that, right? And I think so much lack of education, I think, within the things that we use every day.
Yes.
Right? Sunscreen and lip balms and everything.
We're told to use it.
Exactly. From a very young age all the way to, it's like, well, this is what I've done for years. So,
Yes.
I love that you're able to break that mold on that piece of it, right? And I think it's something that we really should as a whole, as a community, and as a whole, just kind of looking at that kind of stuff. So, okay, fantastic. So, I guess this is a good spot. Like, what is a good way? Like, let's say somebody, we're not done yet, but let's say somebody watching this is like, man, I really want to talk to them, or really want to see them. What's the best way to get a hold of you, or reach out for questions? Is it social media, phone number, email? What does that look like? And go ahead and give your information.
I have a Facebook page set up that I'm on religiously at this point, answering questions, responding to messages. Then there's also the email. I actually received a very, very endearing email this last week of someone telling me, "Hey, you're doing a good thing. We need this around here. Keep doing what you're doing." So that was heartfelt. That made me feel really good.
That's congrats. That's
Thank
fantastic.
you. But that email is thistleandthorn25@gmail.com. So it's a little bit of a tongue twister there, but it's open and available night and day. So.
Okay. And is that the best way to get a hold of you?
Yes, that
Okay.
or through Facebook.
Facebook?
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. All right, well, I guess let's kind of talk a little bit about what you're able to do. You talked about farmers market and things
Yes.
that way. So your goal or your plan this coming season is to be able to have a booth there.
Yes.
So what does and we've talked a little bit about it, but what does the local community mean for you and your business?
I think the more people that I can get involved with paying attention with what they're actually using and what they're actually doing is almost kind of pivotal, because like you said, we've been told, hey, trust this company, use these products, you have to stay healthy.
Right.
But then not knowing specifically what's in them or how to pronounce them, or having to do a thesis paper on what it is,
Right.
is a bit much. So I think that if I can get Manhattan or the people who are just going to college here that don't live here indefinitely to kind of broaden their horizons
Sure.
on what they're actually using, I think is probably going to be one of the biggest things, because I'm not the only one that does lip balms and things like that, but I have noticed that I seem to pay more attention to what I use. Not to discredit anybody else, but
Sure.
this is a full-time thing for me at home, and there's a lot of research that goes into it. There's a lot of care and time and passion behind it.
Yeah. So Paige, one thing that just kind of popped in my head a little bit, is your kind of checks and balances, right? How do you make sure that you are continually putting out a great product and making sure that it's all natural, making sure that it is safe for anybody who may be looking to utilize your product?
I guinea pig my children and my husband and my mother-in-law first. We do a pretty extensive research of our own, and my mother-in-law is honest to a fault. I will give her that, but she keeps me humble, so
That's good.
take it in stride.
Yep.
But I have children ages 8, 2, and 3.
Okay.
So we kind of have a varying degree of immunity responses there, and a varying degree of healing times. But I guinea pig my children and my husband first, so it's it's process.
Well, and like you just told me off camera too, like you have, I'm talking about the soaps, right?
Mm-hmm.
What your husband does, and
Yes.
how much, let's just say that it sounds like you kind of live on a farm or something of the sort with animals and everything else, and you continue to use that soap and continue to keep it clean too. So I think that's a big piece for anybody watching that may be a skeptic of your own. I think just to see that she's using it on her own family, right? But I think that's how much she trusts and believes in this product. I think that's a big piece of this.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Okay, well, very nice. So I always like to ask these next couple questions. My first one is, what does the future look like for Thistle and Thorn?
Oh, so I have so many plans. I'm hoping to get a storefront open in the next year or so. But one big thing that I'm trying to do is not only carry my own stuff, but find other local crafters to carry their merchandise as well.
Sure.
A blacksmith, a potter, a woodworker, a glassblower is really hard to find these days. Yes. It's a dying art, sadly.
Absolutely.
But if I could carry other local vendors' things, other people's creations, kind of do a from Kansans to Kansans, keep it local is kind of what I'm shooting for. Fingers crossed.
That's awesome. Well, that's a great. I mean, I love that, and it's kind of one of those moments of rising tide raises all ships.
Yes.
Right. Yep. Like I think that's a great way to be with all of that. So, all right. Fun question. This is my favorite question always to ask. So you've been doing this now, if you started this past summer, so about 6 months or so, right?
Give or take.
Obviously you've been making the soaps and all that things for years prior, but you just created the business this last summer. What has been your biggest challenge and or thing that you have had to overcome?
My biggest challenge is that I make all of this in my kitchen at home, and with 2 small kids home, they want to help. And although they are allowed to help, there's also some things it's like, no, you have to kind of scoot. But outside of tiny hands getting in the way, it would be finding funds, because I'm trying to get it to where it pays for itself and I can keep that momentum. And like I said, we're getting there. We're on an incline.
Sure.
So the past few supply restocks I've had to do with the sunflower oil that I mentioned earlier, it's been able to pay for itself. But we're trying to get it to the point where I'm not having to pull a business loan because sharks in the water, and they're always hungry. Yeah. So trying to build momentum as far as getting to the storefront.
Okay, awesome. That's awesome. So, and then on the not necessarily on the flip side, but on another of that line of questioning, what is one piece of advice that you would give to either aspiring entrepreneurs or someone else looking to do something like this?
Probably do your research. There is a lot that goes into starting up a business that I did not even think of until I talked to other business owners. Yeah. Right now, I am a sole proprietorship. I'm trying to work up to an LLC and then again do the storefront. Sure. But there's a lot of moving parts in that. There's a lot that goes on with that. So I would say reach out to other small business owners, learn from their mistakes, learn from their experiences, and utilize what they have to say. Yeah.
So listening from their mistakes.
Yes. Yeah. I have made my fair share, but it's also neat when I can go, oh, so that's what happened. Okay, let's not do that.
Yep. No, I get that. And that's the thing that we try to tell people all the time, right? It's like, learn from my mistakes. I've been through them. Let me try to avoid it for you, right? So, okay. Before we kind of wrap it all up, is there anything else you want to add to this video that we haven't talked about?
Not that I can think of. I pretty much covered it all, I think.
Perfect. Well, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video to this point in time. I really appreciate it at this point. Paige, thank you so much for joining me. And you guys, what I will tell you is, I think one of the biggest things that we get so engulfed in, right, is like we talked about in the video. This is the trusted brand. This is the trusted thing. This is what we've done for 30 years, 50, 100 years, whatever that is, doesn't necessarily make it right. Right? We have these things and checks and balances and stuff in place, but even then, there's always ways that these bigger companies try to cut off a couple cents off of each bottle just to make a little bit of extra money. And when they do that, it starts to really kind of water down or change what we are doing, what we're utilizing in our products. So having something that's natural, having somebody who's physically making it and doing those things for you and putting it out there as a product and testing it on her own family, so you know that she believes in it, right? And I think that's the really cool part, is that these hands are the hands that are making it, not some factory and getting pumped through a whole thing of that end of it, right? I think that's a really neat opportunity for you to have right here in Manhattan, and give you that opportunity to really kind of try out these different things. As you said it, I'm going to hold you accountable to this. She's going to be at the farmer's market this year. So go out and see her. Go out and look for Thistle and Thorn, or reach out to her on Facebook, or reach out to her via email, and just go see what it is. Try the products out. If you don't like them, great. At least you tried it. At least you're trying to break that mold of what our normal thing is anymore, right? So look at those bottles, look at that sunscreen, look at what's on the back, and see if you can pronounce those words. If you can't, I would encourage you to reach out to Thistle and Thorn. So thank you guys so much. Again, Paige, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. And again, If you guys have any questions or if you need anything, either put in the comments below, reach out to Paige. And if you do enjoy this content, please go and hit that subscribe button. Go and hit that little bell so you get notified of any future content that we have. And please, if you have somebody who's interested in just thinking about or looking at natural products and things like that, share this video with them. Share it so they get to learn a little bit more about Thistle and Thorn and about Paige and what her and her family are doing here in Manhattan, and just kind of learn a little bit more about that one. So, but again, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time.